When you first walk into Holy Cross's football locker room, you instantly notice a few things. The familiar smell of shoulder pads, the touch of turf. You feel the history, the names, the faces that have played for the maroon and gray. And you even get to see the lucky few whose seasons have been immortalized in gold. These plaques represent the best in the team's history, from division winners to state champions. And from 1999 through 2002, there's a face that doesn't quite fit with all the others. A young child, a coach's son. Today that kid now holds the same position his father held 30 years ago. TJ Maderia has not only grown up on football, but Holy Cross football.
To be back at Holy Cross is great. I tell people all the time, it's like full circle. I grew up on those sidelines. I watched my dad coach on those sidelines. Fell in love with football on those sidelines. And I'm just trying to get it back to, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to duplicate what he did and those guys did back then. It's a different time, it's a different era. But I wanna get to some semblance of that back. Because I would like for someday for there to be kids at those games that fall in love with football because they go to Holy Cross and they take a look and they're like, wow, this is fun. This is what football is supposed to be like.
The first reign of Maderia and Delran resulted in 2 state championships, the only undefeated season in the school's history, and countless Division I and NFL players. All this culminating in Coach Maderia being the all-time winningest coach in Holy Cross football history.
Well, I was thrilled to death when he got the head coaching job last year. I knew he was doing a good job coaching because I had other people tell me. I had colleagues of mine tell me, hey, we played against Pemberton, we played against Camden Catholic. He's really doing a nice job because he was the offensive coordinator at Pemberton, and I had guys tell me, hey, he really is doing a great job. So I was really happy for him to get that job. I was ecstatic when he became AD there because now he's actually in that building. The building the first 11 years of his life, he grew up there. I think the big thing that he has to do, or the school in general, is they just need a student body. You know, when I was at Holy Cross, our freshman team was 55 kids. And, then as sophomores, there might be 40, and by the time they were seniors, there was 20-some because of attrition. But that's what they need to do. They need to get numbers, and if they get the numbers, he'll do fine.
How would you go about coaching a team with 30 players on it?
I have no idea.
Each year as summer sets, kids all over the country gather on fields like this on Friday nights, chasing the dream to someday play on Sundays. For most, it'll be just that, a dream. But for some, they may have what it takes. 23,000 high school students will pay that price this year and play football for 340 different teams in New Jersey. Elementary math will show you the average a team should have is about 67.5 kids on their total roster. Now cut that in half and you'll see the hill Coach TJ Maderia has to climb.
So I would say it is the way it is right now because about 3 years ago in 2018, they became an independent school. I mean, that means is when you become an independent school, you're no longer getting money from the diocese. So what that means is your tuition now naturally is going to go up, and it's going to be harder to get kids. And when you don't have as many kids in the building, that's going to affect all your sports, right? Football is the main one because football you need 40, 50, 60 guys to be some type of successful at the varsity level, whereas now we're dealing with 30 and we're a Group 1 school. But since 2018, this is pretty cool. So since 2018, the enrollment here has actually gone up each year. So what that tells me is if we keep doing things the right way and we keep going on this path, that hopefully we can get it to be the most successful school that we can be as a private prep school.
Every team, no matter how great or how bad, starts on day one. And although the attire doesn't show, these young Lancers are becoming one. After a bit of a rough start, dusting off the cobwebs of summer, the team began to show their talent and took hold. Until weather took the team inside to finish their first day of training camp. And at the end of the day, there was only one thing missing.
I have my series
6, 18.
Camera guy.
Yo, listen to me. Starting tomorrow, we're wearing practice jerseys with helmets, okay? And then we'll...
That's a group chat. This year using helmets?
Yeah, for tomorrow.
Dance coach?
Nah.
No more.
Later in the week, the weather struck again, not by way of rain, but of heat. With temperatures over 90 degrees, the team was forced to start an hour late and postpone their first day in pads. Now what the kids do with their free time is theirs to choose. A few stay late in the weight room and get extra reps. Most turn their mind off and turn the Xbox on for a while. But Holy Cross doesn't have many more hours to give until their first scrimmage coming up in just 1 week. They need practice. At the start of the following week, the Lancers are finally in full pads. Yeah, you want to?
I took photography and stuff over here. Hold up.
It's recording already.
Alright, bet.
You trust Heckles with that? Look, we got him a spot.
Yo, say what's up, bro.
Don't get me in trouble, your coach. Today, the Lancers focus on defense for the first half of practice, needing to set the tempo for their first and only scrimmage. It's important for the team to learn how to tackle to avoid injury, because especially with this team, a few injuries could be a death sentence. The best way to learn is to practice. For the Lancers, this is their first true test against players in other uniforms. And it comes on a rain-soaked Friday morning in Columbus, New Jersey. The Lancers are a part of a three-way scrimmage between the Greyhounds of Northern Burlington and the Burlington Township Falcons, led by former Holy Cross head coach Tom Maderia. The family affair didn't quite start like the Lancers would have hoped, failing to find a rhythm through the first few drives on both sides of the ball. But one deep ball to the back of the end zone changed the vibe for the Maroon and Gray, as the Lancers were on their way to holding their own against two teams twice their size, not only in numbers, but in size. It's a good warm-up for the Lancers as they head into their first game on Saturday, September 4th against Bishop Eustace at home. See you there.